Okay, so we are here on the day before the preseason officially kicks off. Um, there's going to be about 24 hours. I'm probably going to put this up at 5 or 6 p.m. my time. So um, around 24 hours. I don't know if there's a 3 game. I think it's only like 6. I think it's like a 6 and 9 game or something like that. There might be a 3 game, so I guess I should probably put this up earlier if there's a 3 game. But I have done the NFC side. If you have not seen that, I went over and did my picks for who I think is going to be in spots 1 through 7. So I did that for NFC. Today we're doing AFC, and just like the other one, I am starting here at the top because this one should be fairly simple. First couple should be easy to understand. And right off the bat, number one, we have the Chiefs. What else is there to say? They run the AFC. They do. They're just. It's gonna take probably a couple more years for a team to basically dethrone them. So for now, they're just sitting here at the top. That's all I gotta say. Number 2, no big surprise here. I have the Bills at 2. I just think that they've gotten that much better, but they're not enough to run through Kansas City. The AFC does not run through them at all. They're at number 2 though because they're probably the second best team in the AFC. Honestly, like they're very very good, but the Chiefs are just somehow that much better. Like they're just too good. No, the weak spot for the Chiefs is their defense, but I mean their offense can put up 50, 60 points if it needs to. So, but eventually the Bills should get be there. Probably have a better defense than them eventually, maybe in a year or two. But for now, I have them at number 2. They're just the best team in the East, and they're probably, again, the second best team in the AFC. Then at 3, I actually have the Titans. Now, I have bashed the defense on a couple of videos here. I've said, I don't trust the defense. That offense is high-powered. That defense, I just don't know about. But I have them at 3, and I have them above the Ravens here. Which I know that even the Ravens just beat them in the playoffs last season. But I just, to get to the playoffs, Titans are going to have 12 wins probably. I mean, Derrick Henry's just that good. And now you have Julio Jones on, outside. So you can you can throw in a double, triple coverage if you wanted to. And Julio will still come down with he's a madman. But so, their offense will get them enough wins. I think they'll have to put up maybe 30, 40 points sometimes just to get up to around 12 wins. But I do think that they are going to be above the Ravens, and I'm going to put them at 3 for now. And then obviously the Ravens here at 4. I think this division is going to be tough. Obviously, last season we had a Monday night thriller with the Ravens and the Browns. That was, again, I said it before, that was probably a top 5 game of the 2020 season. I should go back and actually do a video on my top 10 games. I really should, because there were some good ones last year. But I just think that they're just a little bit better. I think they'll have to get 12 wins to win the division. And I think it'll just be interesting to see what happens, because I think the Browns are going to get double-digit wins. I think the Steelers could potentially get double-digit wins again. So, I think they are going to, and they're going to win by half a game. They're going to win by a tiebreaker, I think. That's my conclusion or theory. I guess I should say not really a conclusion. That's my theory right now. So the Ravens are going to take the division, but Browns might have 12 wins too with them. So it's going to be very interesting. Speaking of the Browns, I have them here at 5 because I've praised this team. I've said this team has gotten a lot better since last season. I think they did very good in the offseason, did some good trades, free agents and whatnot. So again, like I just said, I think they're going to have 12 wins. I think there is that potential. You're going to have OBJ back. I mean, this offense is good. This defense is good. I think there is potential they can win the division, but I just think I don't think they beat the Ravens once last year, so they could split with them. I just think the end of the season is going to be the major point for them, and if they face them later in the season, we'll see what happens between the two teams. But they are good enough. They could win the division. I love the Browns. I think the Browns. I'm just happy for the Browns. They finally broke that playoff streak. They're finally good again. But just being realistic, their division is the second toughest in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I have them at 5 here. They probably half a win behind the Ravens. So they could eventually they could actually win the division. So we'll see what happens. Number 6, I have the Colts. Right now, it looks like Carson Wentz, we don't know if he's going to be out for all 12 weeks or if he's coming back in 5. Either way, he'll be out till mid-September, I believe. So, you might lose to that. They have a pretty September is pretty bad for them. Pretty bad opening. First 4 or 5 weeks are very bad for them. Very good team. So without Carson Wentz, they might slip and start out 0-3, 0-4. But I think eventually they'll get enough wins. They'll make the playoffs here. I think they will have to fight off Miami. I believe the Raiders could have potentially made the playoffs last year. There was, I think, 4 or 5 teams fighting for the bottom 2 or 3 spots. Or bottom 3 spots. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And if Carson Wentz, if it is closer to 12 weeks, I think they could slip down to 7. Who I have the Patriots at 7, but I just want to real quickly say that, Miami, knowing what happened last season, they could potentially sneak in and beat out the Colts if the Colts end up losing, first 5, 6, 7, those couple majority of the first half of the season, and they come back and they're not quite there. So I think Miami could sneak in, but I do have the Patriots sneaking in above them at 7. I just think that Bill Belichick went out. He said, "Give me every single free agent you have. We're gonna put him on this team." He got 3 tight ends and whatnot. I just think that what they did, I think it'll be good enough to get them back to the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying they're gonna win a playoff game. These playoffs are going to be very hard. There's a lot of good teams right now. But I think it'll be enough to win. So I have them here at 7 because I think they'll just barely sneak in, barely beat Miami, the Raiders, potentially the Chargers. I just think I have them here at 7 because they'll be very interesting. They'll be back in the playoffs and we're all going to groan and, say, come on, just get them out of here for good because we're all tired of the dynasty. But, the new dynasty is now in Tampa. But that's my 7. I did not go over them, but the NFC side, but I guess I could go over the AFC side. So Patriots at 7, Colts at 6, Browns at 5, Ravens at 4, Titans at 3, Bills at 2, and then Chiefs at 1. I guess I should have probably gone over the stuff for the NFC side. Maybe I'll edit in a little thing at the end. But for now, like the video, share the video around, don't forget to subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.